Hello, everyone, and welcome to SMEVenture's Womenpreneur series. I am your host, Kashish Tendulkar from SMEVenture, where we bring you inspiring conversations with women leaders who are redefining industries through innovation, resilience, and purpose. Today, we are delighted to be joined by Ms. Shilpa Arora, who's the co-founder and chief operating officer of Insurance Samadhan and InsurTech, a platform that has been at the forefront of helping policyholders to resolve insurance grievances and bringing greater transparency to the insurance ecosystem. With nearly 3 decades of experience spanning pharmaceuticals, insurance, customer engagement, and leadership, Ms. Shilpa has not only built a purpose driven organization but has also championed customer advocacy in an industry where trust has become more important than ever. Ms. Shilpa, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to SME Venture. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for the invite. It is a pleasure.
Great. So let's start off with my first question to you. So, Insurance Samadhan was founded to address a critical gap in the insurance ecosystem, helping policyholders navigate grievances and claim disputes. So, from your experience, why do you believe insurance mis-selling has evolved beyond a distribution problem into a much larger challenge of consumer trust?
What is happening is now more awareness is there about insurance, and people want to buy insurance post COVID, whether it is health, life, general. So all the types of insurance are growing in India. The major problem that we see is the understanding of the product. People are more buying insurance basis good returns, basis some false promise being done by the seller. It is also because of lower premium that they are changing their health insurance without understanding what are the coverages, what are the terms and conditions that would get affected. So it is basically the lack of awareness and more driven by investment, whereas insurance as such is a instrument which is primarily used for the protection of the family, protection against death, protection against accident, protection against hospitalization expenses. So this is ignored, and we are looking at investment returns and premiums.
Okay, that's very well said. So it brings me to a next question. As the industry shifts from agent led selling to digital and AI assisted distribution nowadays, as we all know, insurance has undoubtedly become more accessible to everyone. But do you think this digital transformation has improved customer understanding or has it widened the gap between purchasing a policy and truly comprehending its terms and benefits?
So now again, it depends on the person who is intending to buy the product. So India is divided. India has people living in tier 2, tier 3 city, people who are educated and understand the requirement, understand these financial products. So people who understand insurance and know exactly what they want as a protection can choose digital and AI led insurance. But if you do not understand insurance, then it is highly advisable to go via a known advisor, because this is a long journey. Insurance is not just buying, it is as long as you are living, you need those services. Though these services are done by the insurance company, but it is good to have somebody who can actually navigate and guide you in case of emergency. Though digital platforms are also good, even so the sales generally do not happen just by filling a form. There are telecallers who would engage with you, they will guide you and then sell you. So it's never totally digital, it is mix of digital and manual. Both are good, but it depends on your requirement and what you are looking at while buying insurance.
Yes, great. So, as you just mentioned that these days we have a lot of accessibility and everything, I would just like to, ask you something. Women, since the start, women have not been so keen on, being educated on insurance and finances. It's always the men of the house who look after this part. Nowadays women are taking the initiative, they are doing it, But what is one small advice, you would like to give to women who, like should take the initiative to learn these things, because for an independency, it is important.
Yeah, I think it's a must because if you care for your family, you must have adequate insurance because life has become so unpredictable. We saw COVID, we just experienced COVID, and we saw a lot of deaths, hospitalization bills, which were so high, and families were literally not planned for such kind of event. And anything can happen now. The geopolitical tensions, the kind of virus being produced, as they are
Yes.
saying that there may be anything can happen. So for a woman to protect the family, it is important to have a term insurance if she's working, because she is also now contributing to the family livelihood, to the family status. So if something happens to her, then the kids and the family are able to maintain the lifestyle. So a term insurance is important for anyone who is working. Health insurance is a mandate in the
Yes,
today's time,
definitely.
because cancer is increasing, lifestyle disorders are increasing, we are becoming a diabetic capital in India, and once you have diabetes, multiple complications. So health insurance one should have, and car we know it's mandatory. Also good to have house insurance, which is less talked about these days, because natural calamities are there. We are seeing fires regularly now, so all those things needs to be accounted. We have built a house, so a little premium to protect the house. So insurance has to be viewed as protection, not as return. How much am I paying and how much am I getting? That formula should be avoided in insurance. Insurance is to be bought as a protection. That is the most important understanding that anyone, woman or anyone looking at insurance should look at.
Very well said. And I hope this will encourage a lot of other women to go ahead and plan their finances and get into insurance. So let's go jump to the next question. So for years, the industry's focus has largely been on increasing insurance penetration. So going forward, do you believe sustainable growth will depend more on delivering meaningful policyholder experiences, particularly when customers need support the most?
Yes. So in insurance being an intangible product, we only experience insurance at the time of claim. So we say it's a moment of truth for our insurance product, which may be lying in the drawer for years, get activated only at the time of emergency. And what we experience is that at the time of selling, they are more liberal in terms of underwriting. So underwriting is a term used to assess the risk and then offer the policy to an individual. But what we are seeing, more underwriting is happening at the time of claim. Questions are being asked, which ideally should have been asked at the time of sales. So this is a gap which is happening. More questions at the time of claim, more bad experience with the policy holder. They realize the coverage only at the time of execution of claim. There may be a room rent capping in a health insurance product. There may be a limitation in the treatment category. So you go, you think that you have a 10 lakh policy, but when you reach there, they say you can only take insurance up to 2 lakh in this particular indication. So that becomes a shocker to the policy holder and a bad experience, of course. And nowadays, experience is all that is mattering in case of insurance.
Great. So you just mentioned claims. So let's little deep dive into that. So through Insurance Samadhan, you've witnessed numerous real world claim disputes, which you just mentioned a few. So what are some of the most common issues that policyholders face, and what do these experiences reveal about the industry's journey towards becoming truly customer centric?
So the most common rejection in case of health insurance is non-disclosure of pre-existing disease. It's a very common scenario where the advisor may recommend you, maybe a digital or physically, that you don't disclose diabetes. It's okay. At the time of hospitalization, tell the doctor not to write diabetes. But when you are hospitalized, you don't ignore such things, because if somebody has diabetes, a lot of his medical condition is linked to diabetes. You can't ask the doctor not to write, because doctor is also tied by medical legal condition. If something happens, you will put a case on the doctor. So this is a very tight situation where At the time of hospitalization, changes will not happen. We have seen people overstating their medical condition to seek immediate attention and help of the doctor. So at the time of sales, this thing should be avoided, non-disclosure. If anything has happened, any medical condition has happened, that must be disclosed to the insurance company so that at the time of claim there is no issue. The second thing is people think that if you have bought insurance, you can walk into any hospital. You will have to walk into a network hospital actually to have a cashless facility. You walk into some hospital and the claim get rejected saying the non-network hospital or a blacklisted hospital, and then the experience get worse. So this also, the seller has to advise and tell the policy holder that these are the list of nearby hospitals where you can go and have a cashless facility, and annually when you collect a renewal premium, ideally this should be informed. Then the rejection is happening because people get just admitted for diagnosis. Somebody tells you that you have insurance. Okay, all the MRI and all you can get claim, get admitted for 24 hours. This is not the correct way. If it is not an active line of treatment in the hospital, the claim will get rejected. Then there is misrepresentation, wherein deliberately you have ignored certain things, like again, accounts for maybe a medical condition, accounts for maybe the wrong entry of age, anything, occupation, something, so which leads to misrepresentation and rejection of the claim. So these are some of the very common reasons why the rejection happen, and obviously can be stopped if the seller makes that attempt to make the policyholder aware and ensure that all the disclosure happens properly at the time of sales.
Very
The
well.
best thing I would say, fill the proposal form on your own. Don't ask the advisor to fill. Generally, we are just signing the proposal form, and whatever the advisor is writing is okay with us. That should be avoided. Disclose.
That's one of the main issues in India. People don't actually read the full document.
They don't, they just sign the check and give it. Rest you fill.
So, as we are talking about healthcare, consumer expectations are changing rapidly these days with growing interest in wellness, preventive healthcare. So, do you think today's health insurance products are evolving quickly enough to reflect these changing preferences? And how important will product sustainability become in the years ahead?
This is one thing which is there in premium health insurance, or something like a platinum, gold. So now insurance products are also classified as silver, gold, platinum. So in platinum and gold, you may have a health checkup, but insurance companies are not proactively advising you to take it. It is there, but it is there, and if you're aware, you go for the test. If you're not aware, they would not make an attempt to make you understand that this is there. Why don't you take it? There are vaccination, preventive vaccination like flu vaccination, which are there, but then policyholder is not aware. Ayush is also covered as per the IRDA guidelines. So Ayush coverage is also there. But then again, policyholder is not aware which Ayush center to go, which is the authorized one, and what are the kind of rates applicable. So it should not be for resting purpose. People go to Ayush center as a spa, but if you're treating it as a spa, then the claim will be rejected. If you have a genuine problem, state the problem well, and then get admitted to a good Ayush, recognized Ayush center, then the claim is payable. So all these are there, but not proactively. Our insurance products are designed for hospitalization, basically post when something has happened, bad thing has happened. Now hospitalization is required. So more catering to that than preventive.
Great. So you just mentioned Ayush treatment. So let's talk about a little bit more of it. So if someone who has no knowledge about what actually Ayush treatment is and where how to go on about it, so how would you advise that specific person to go and register yourself for the Ayush treatment?
So Ayush centers are approved centers. You will have to ask your insurer. Basically, like the network hospital, there are also Ayush network hospital where you can go in for cashless facilities. And then once you inform the insurance company that you know which are the centers, then you can walk into those center and get the treatment. But this has to be a treatment, not just relaxing, which people thinks, okay, I can go relax for a week, 10 days and come back. it has to be an active line of treatment in Ayush as well.
Great. Thank you for letting us know. So, building a more trusted insurance ecosystem requires a collective effort. In your view, what role should regulators, insurers, intermediaries, and customer advocacy platforms like Insurance Samadhan play in strengthening consumer confidence and making insurance more transparent and customer centric?
So basically, insurance regulator is doing a lot of work in terms of policyholder protection guidelines, rules, also helping in approval of the right products in the industry. Insurance companies are supposed to question claims because they are the guardian of the pool of money that people have given. So they are supposed to question, so they are questioning, but the questioning have become more than ever. The reason that we feel so is because the medical inflation is growing. It's about 16%. Corporate hospitals are more revenue oriented nowadays, so the billing has increased significantly. Medical advancements are happening. The drugs are expensive. So if you talk about cancer, targeted therapies are coming. If you talk about knee surgery, hip replacement, the conventional treatment has been replaced by robotic surgery, which is 1.5 to 2 times more expensive than the conventional. So the burden of paying those bills are falling off the insurance company, and hence insurance companies are questioning more that whether such bills should be payable. Nobody with insurance company is walking into a nursing home. They are walking into corporate hospitals which are nearby, Max, Fortis. They are chain and they are now available everywhere in India. So the cost of treatment is increasing. Somewhere we feel that regulation in terms of rates has to be done by some hospital regulator, and government has to step in so that the burden on the insurance company reduces. They are also in a helpless situation what to do. The burden of disease is increasing, the cost of treatment is increasing, the number of policy holders are increasing, but fraudulent claims are also increasing. So they are also questioning. So somewhere that gap is there where the policy holder is suffering. Now, somebody has to chain the sequence and properly present the sequence so that the policyholder is not affected.
Very well said. So now this brings me to the last part of our interview. What small advice you would like to give to the coming youth and the people who are just learning on how to learn about insurance and are learning to get into it and how to get how to save yourself from all the scams and frauds as well, because there are many frauds regarding insurance going on, and people, it's not only the insurance company end, but also people also do fraud, because just in case to get the insurance money, as you had mentioned, just take a relaxing day at the hospital. So please let
Mhm.
us know a bit about it.
So first thing that I said earlier also, that we have to view insurance as a protection tool and not a return base. So why the fraud is happening? Because we are asking too many returns. So we want to pay for 5, 10 years and want a return of 3 times, 4 times, which is not happening. Insurance product can never give you return more than a mutual fund, more than your FD, because they have component of expensive, they have expenses, commissions are there, then the death cover that they are providing. So you don't invest the entire proportion of premium and get return. So there are deductions, so that will affect the return in the long term. And insurance companies are not advised to invest in aggressive kind of investment. So the return is also conservative. So you don't expect that. Buy insurance for protection. First thing that you should buy is a term insurance. Immediately buy a health insurance, and then you can look at house and other things. But primarily two things: term insurance and health insurance. Whenever you're buying insurance, ensure that you fill the proposal form correctly. And if somebody is telling you, don't disclose this, don't tell this, don't buy from that person. Stop. Because that's how you would also correct the system. If somebody is giving you a wrong advice, so don't continue, because this is a long term journey with that person for you. As I said, insurance is kept in the drawer, and I wish and pray that it should always be in the drawer. We don't need activation of insurance, but if any emergency happens, then this is the person walking in with you. If he's doing this kind of activity now, then what will happen at the time of claim? Maybe not picking up your calls and you are left alone. So fill the form correctly and observe that the person who is selling you, is he giving the right guidance? And you can feel it, you can get it. If something is being asked to hide, I think best to stop then and there, that I don't want to work with you.
Very well said. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a good insight on insurance. And like it's a easy thing which you can learn. So maybe women will be more encouraged to learn and take the initiative as well as the new generation upcoming. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
You